Is your life moving too fast? Do you maybe perhaps have too many things on your plate? Are your children driving you crazy? Well, you're in luck. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to slow down. This is the Existential Stoic podcast. I'm Randy. That's Danny. What's going on, Danny?
What's up, Randy?
Danny, have you ever felt like you needed to slow down?
Yes. Like, I mean, really like honestly though, yeah, all the time. I think like it's so because it's like it's so easy to feel like you're not doing enough. And then you get the ball rolling and start going. Then you're afraid to lose momentum. So then you just keep stressing about it. And it's like this weird double-edged sword. Like you want to keep moving fast and you want things to happen faster and faster, but at the same time you keep speeding up more and more and you just get stressed out and overwhelmed and it's terrible. And then it can actually slow you down anyway, because then you get like anxiety, depression, stress that just destroys your work anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's like ever since all this new technology has come into our lives, we don't have boredom anymore, which was like the time when your brain could just flush out all that garbage and you could figure out things that you needed to. Now
Yeah.
it's just one thing to the next to the next. And then anytime we have a spare moment, we just scrolling through somebody else's BS on social media.
Well, it's like happening this week. Like I was like, or like 2 weeks ago, I was like really stressed out, starting to get depressed. And then I took a break, but then I was on my phone, like making notes of like what to do. And that was then that I realized I was like working on like four distinct, very different things. I was like, this is the problem.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. That's one thing that I do too, is I make a list of everything I'm up to, and usually it's like in the 60s. It's some absurd number of
Yeah. It's
things.
insane, right? You can't keep
Yep.
it straight.
Yeah. So to help everybody and ourselves for posterity, because listening to our old episodes is the best way whenever we have a problem. But we're gonna go
At
over
least I
how
knew the
to,
answer once, right?
yeah, right. I'm like, why did I know that now then and I don't know it now? What's going on? Yeah.
How it always
So
goes.
we're gonna go over a few helpful hints for how to slow down. I will start first. My first one for how to slow down is stop now. So like when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like you need to slow down, it's not something where like, oh, when I get there, then I'll slow down. When the kids get to college, then I'll slow down. It's like, no, right now you're feeling overwhelmed. Right now you need to slow down. So stop now. And I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like, but I can't stop. I'm at work. I have these things, these deliverables I need to get done. And it's like, you're not stopping forever. Like you can
Yeah.
stop, you can take three very deep breaths. You could stop, you can meditate for 5 minutes. You could stop, you could just look out a window for 5 minutes. Like something to just stop right now, because at this moment you're overwhelmed, you need to slow down. So listen to your body.
Yeah, remembering that's like probably the best thing if you just remember that, because it is like we're such drama queens, right? Like all the stuff we're doing is so important. And like it's no, if I stop, everything will end. And and it's like, but if you really just keep in mind you can stop now. And if it's only for 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes, but at least if you feel that overwhelmed, give yourself a chance to catch up. Because like I know personally, like when I don't stop, it just gets downhill and snowballs and gets worse. And like you get to the point where you can't even catch up? That's a really good one. I
Mm-hmm.
like that. My
Thanks.
first one for how to slow down is get perspective, and stopping can be very helpful with that. Really anything that you can kind of get like a an outsider's looking into your own self. You know what I mean? Sometimes for me, like talking to somebody, like talking to you, can be a really good way to get perspective. Like what I'm doing, talking to like my partner, doing something completely different, whatever it is, but just try to get perspective and have like an outsider's view in on yourself, because we get caught up in our heads, and that's I think what also kills us, because like I said, we act like all of our stuff's so important, and this matters more than anything else. And it's like, it's so easy to lose perspective on what matters, what's important, and really what you want.
Mm. Yeah, the perspective thing is critical. And also like one of the perspectives that I always try and get is like, I'm gonna die. Like
Yeah,
all
that's
this
also
stuff that's
helpful.
causing me problems, this is all like the cherry on top. Like I'm dead, and I just all this stuff is a gift. So it's up to me how to use it. And if it's stressing me out that much, maybe I should see some way to cut it out of my life, because I only got so many years left.
Yeah, is it worth wasting that time, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh.
that's a good one. So my next one, how to slow down, and this is going to rub some people the wrong way. Take a Sabbath day, and they're like,
Wait, you
"What?
don't grind
No,
harder?
religion's wrong. The Bible and God is wrong." And but so here's this thing, okay? So I listened to this book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, Hurry,
Hmm.
Hurry. And really, I felt it was a really excellent book. And I mean, he was talking about how all the ways were just going way too fast. And one of the suggestions was actually taking a Sabbath day. And there were a bunch of stories in the book, and I'll mess them up by sharing them right now. But it was basically like, he was traveling with some people, I don't know, I'm going to say in the Middle East somewhere. And like they would go, and then all of a sudden one day they would stop, and he would be like, come on, we need to get there, and they're like, no. And he was like trying to convince them. He's like, I have this important appointment, we need to go there. And they're like, no. And eventually he found out that they stopped because they were waiting for their souls to catch up with them, like, because
Oh,
in life they move too fast. So anyways, since I read that book,
I
I've
like
been
that.
implementing a Sabbath day, and it's just like it's a day where you focus on rest. Okay. So like anything that's conducive to rest for you, you do it that day. For me, it's like reading books, it's staring out the window, it's, like doing stuff, going for walks in nature. But it's like not the typical stuff I would do. It's not playing video games, it's not watching TV, it's not going on social media. But like by, I don't know, by that afternoon, like two-thirds, three-quarters of the way through the day, all of a sudden, after being bored and being like, how am I going to make it through this day? All of a sudden it gets to a point where I feel very refreshed. And
Yeah,
it's a cool way to start the day, to start the
that's
week.
really that's a really good idea too, which is just giving yourself time just to relax and scheduling it into your schedule and being really rigid about it. Like this is my day. I'm gonna do stuff that's for me to relax, not other stuff. I like that because we move way too fast and we act like everything's too important. And with technology, we're people can get in touch with us 24/7. I think that's the other problem. It makes things seem more urgent because they can be made urgent when otherwise they wouldn't have been able to. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, what, 25 years ago, you would have had to wait till the next day. Like, you just couldn't contact the person. So that was it. I
Dude,
like that.
and I found out in that book that it was only up until a number of years ago when 7-Eleven was the first 7-day a week
Yeah.
store. It was-
Dude, even when we were younger, everything closed on Sunday. I remember that. It wasn't until like, I forget, I mean, I don't remember the exact date, but I remember when things started to open all week. And then it was like 24-hour came and then it's like nothing closed. It was really
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, my second one for how to slow down is do something new or fun. And this could be combined with either like taking Sabbath thing or like trying to get perspective. Like, I don't know, I find personally like doing new things really helps me get out of my head and like see the world differently, see myself differently, and just also like enjoy time with people that matter to me and like just take time to like, think about things instead of just doing them. So when I start going again, I can make choices that are more aligned with myself and what matters to me.
Mhm. Yeah,
And I
that's
think it's
a
in the same vein as like the Sabbath, like just giving yourself a chance and even scheduling it into your week is a good idea.
yeah, it sounds a lot like the artist dates from The Artist Way.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
that's what I was
that's
thinking
like
of, kind of. Yeah,
that's a good way to take yourself out and to like enjoy time with yourself.
and just
Yeah.
get new experiences and do new stuff and try new things. It's nice. Yeah,
Hmm. Great one. So my last one for how to slow down is spend some time in nature. This is my cure all for everything. Like
really is a
whenever I'm
good
not
cure all though.
feeling good, I just go in nature because it's crazy because it's I don't even know how to describe it. But like nature has all these crazy patterns and like all these different things and there's so much to hold your attention and it's very colorful and vibrant and sometimes during the winter it's very dreary and dead and bleak, but it's always
Oh,
something new and it's always changing and it's good for, I don't know, kind of resetting the batteries.
I think it is too. Like we've designed our world to be so homogenous because it makes us feel secure, it makes us feel safe, we know what to expect. But like it's all constructed. If you go in nature, like yeah, things might look similar, same kind of trees and stuff, but then they're all actually unique. They're all different. They're all individuals. And I think it is really cool because there is no like, yeah, things might look sort of similar, but there's no repetition. Whereas like the human world, there's a lot of like duplication, of
Mhm.
things. And so yeah, it is. It's a big difference.
Yeah, nature has fractals where it's like, you have the big tree trunk and then the smaller tree branch and the smaller little branches and even smaller stuff. And then you have the big leaves and the little leaves and the other. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. And
Mhm.
I don't know, like the views and stuff. Yeah, it is really cool. Especially when you get out in nature, like actually going out and be like out in nature is really cool too. I like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
That's a good one though. It is refreshing. We definitely all need it. My last one is do things one thing at a time. I think I notice this myself. This is like my biggest problem. We were just talking about doing too many things, getting involved with way too much stuff, and then trying to do them all at once rather than like focusing on one thing and doing it and completing it, or like, making clear distinctions between what you're doing so you can actually focus and not feel overwhelmed. Yeah,
Uh,
I think that's a good one.
yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I just feel like that just like hit me in the head when you said that because I just started listening to this book called Essentialism, which is about like finding out what's essential doing. It's basically prioritization, finding out what is your priority, doing that. So, anyways, I made a list very easily. I know what things are my priorities and what things are not,
Yeah.
but the things that are not, I feel like I have to do them, like for my future, for my safety, for whatever. And it's
Yeah.
just like they're causing me so much stress. And it's like I know the answer. I just need to not do them. But it's the
Yeah.
hardest thing not to do.
Yeah, but it's so weird. We convince ourselves that we have to do it, even when we don't want to. Even whatever, but we make up these reasons, and then it's like so hard to not do it. And it's weird, right? Even though it's not beneficial, even though it's not going to help us, it's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you have it. In a nutshell, how to slow down because sometimes life is
Yeah.
just too gosh darn fast. And you know, when it is too gosh darn fast and you are slowing down, take a moment, go to the show notes or the description. We have a little survey down there. We are looking to create a product that's going to make your life a lot better this year. So if you take a few minutes, fill that out, well, you'll get it for free. And other than that, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. This is the Existential Stoic podcast. Leave a review. It's like gold for podcasts. I'm Randy. That's
Yes.
Danny. I'll see you later, Danny.
Later, Andy.